Hey everybody, I'm Den Haring. Welcome back to my channel, Fish Den 365, and welcome back to Topwater Tuesday. Today's bait is the Zoom Lizard. That's right, the Zoom Lizard. It can be one heck of a topwater bait. Okay, so most of you are familiar with this bait. It's been around for a long time. It's known as a very good fish catcher, especially in spring during the spawn or right after the spawn. The theory is the bass hate lizards because the lizards eat their eggs. I don't know if any of that's true or not. It might be. It doesn't matter though, because the fact of the matter is these baits catch a lot of fish. And you can use it as a topwater as well, and it could be a very effective topwater. Even fishing it over open water, although that's not how I would usually fish it. I was just looking at a video the other day and saw this huge bass, looked like at least an 8-pounder, blow up on one. I'll send a link to the video right up here, but make sure you bring it back to Fish Den 365 so you can watch on how to fish this bait and how to make it a good topwater. So it's meant to be fished over shallow water. It works best over a lot of different types of environments. And one of my favorite places is to just slither it through lily pads. You make it go right up on top of a pad, slither right off the pad, and then swim it right to the next pad, keeping it on the surface. The nice thing about that way of fishing, though, is you can stop the bait between pads if you want it to go down a little bit, because sometimes fish might be shy. They might not want to come all the way up and bash it, so you can get their attention up top and then let it go down to where they're living, and they can eat it that way too. Another thing that you can do is when you Texas rig this bait, you can put a small weight on the front, peg a small weight to the front of it, makes it a little easier to cast, and it allows you to do one other thing. It allows you to fish it faster across the surface because you have to reel it faster with that weight on there, otherwise it'll go down. So if you want a faster retrieve, and sometimes this works well when the fish are in a reaction mode, then you can put a little weight out on there, 1/8 ounce, 16th ounce, something like that. Throw it out there. It allows you to reel it on the surface faster to get that better reaction strike. But you could also fish it weightless. The hook I recommend for this is a Gamakatsu worm hook, or you could use a Gamakatsu EWG. Either one works fine. The EWG gives you a little bit more belly in the hook, but the offset worm hook is less likely to hang up in cover and weeds and that kind of thing. Where to fish it? I've already mentioned lily pads. Stump fields are another great place where you have a flat with a lot of stumps in the water. You can just fish this on the surface right over them. Another great spot is when you have milfoil or coontail beds that haven't topped out on the surface yet. You can throw this and just reel it right along the surface and catch fish that way. Now, the rod and reel that you use for this is a little bit different than your standard treble topwater lures, right? For this, you want to have something that you can set the hook on and bring that hook through the bait and through the fish's mouth. So you need a rod that you would use maybe for Texas rigs, flipping and pitching Texas rigs, or even a jig rod to throw this bait. A couple of the colors I like. This one's called Watermelon Candy. I like this one a lot. This one works in a lot of different environments. Sometimes in the pads, this pumpkin color works well. Black is a good color. Sometimes I like to use this on cloudy days, but you can't rule it out on sunny days either. You just have to try it. Sometimes they only eat black. Junebug is another good color that I like. It's got that purple and some green flake in there. This can be a really good pad and also stump bite color. And then one of my favorite colors, and this is an 8-inch. These were all 6-inch worms. They also make an 8-inch version that's a little bit bigger. So I think it's 8 inches. Let's see what it says. Yep, 8-inch Magnum. This is called Scuppernong. This is a really good color. It works good in all the environments. It's one of my favorite all-around colors. It just seems to catch fish. And they really seem to like this Scuppernong. It's almost like a root beer color. But it does work very well in a lot of the different environments that I fish. So you get yourself either a 3-aught or maybe even a 4-aught round bed hook or EWG hook. Either one will work fine. That's usually the size you would use. A 2 or 3-aught for the smaller size, 3 or 4-aught for the larger size lizard. It's a fun way to fish because there's a lot of it gives a lot of action, gives off a lot of action. These tails are kicking, the legs are kicking, and it's kind of a forgotten way to fish too. Most people that throw a lizard, they're throwing it on the beds when the fish are spawning, or they're just Texas rigging it and throwing it in brush. Oh, by the way, that's another good place to throw this bait as a topwater, along fallen trees off the bank. You can just bring it as a topwater right over those fallen branches, and sometimes you can bring the fish up that way to come out and grab this bait. But if this isn't something you've tried for topwater, and I don't think many people think of it or do it, the few who do, I think keep it to themselves, but it does really work. It's a very effective way of catching fish off the top. It's just not something that you hear about every day. So give it a try the next time you're out there and you want a topwater bite. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Can't wait to give this a try. It's been a while since I've topwater fished with a lizard. I don't know why I've stopped. It works very well. It's great for ponds too, small ponds and those kind of environments. Another great bait to throw in that environment as well. Looking forward to getting out there with it. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have some topwater experience with the lizard, I'd love to hear it. Please comment and let me know what your experiences are. It's a great bait, and it catches big fish as well. Looking forward to getting out in the water myself again very soon, I hope. Be safe out there, and as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.